My name is Andy Elmy. I'm the Director of RedJam Business Transformation Specialist, and I've been working with Red Systems now for the last 15 months, supporting the team on their continuous improvement journey. I've been in business transformation roles for the last 15 years, successfully delivering over £18 million worth of efficiency savings. I'm also a Lean Six Sigma black belt, and for those of you that are a bit unsure on Lean Six Sigma, I'm going to share a little bit on the webinar today of what Lean Six Sigma is, but also how it can help your business. I'm also in the final stages of completing my MBA. I'm due to graduate from Manchester Met next month, where my dissertation was focused on how applying continuous improvement principles improved quality in Red Systems, but also how it can be mirrored in the construction industry. As Red Systems forms part of the commercial glazing market within the construction industry, I wanted to share with you some of the critical challenges that the construction industry are facing in terms of quality. Certainly after spending the last 6 months heavily researching this as part of my dissertation, I thought I'd share some that really resonated with me and certainly informed some of the work we've done to date. So the construction industry should be concerned about the influence quality could have on future projects and word of mouth reputation. For several years, the construction industry has been heavily criticised for its poor performance, productivity and level of quality. And it's estimated that 15% of all costs are as a result of poor quality, and in many cases related to defective components identified post-construction. Better quality management, again, estimates suggest, based on the research, that it could save the industry between £7 billion and £36 billion.
My name is Michael Green, so I'm the MD of Red Systems. Red Systems turn over about 10 million a year, so we're a specialist subcontractor. We've got offices in the Northwest and in London. Previous life, we've been running the company for about 15 years now. And previously I was a project manager for large UK contractors.
I want to share a slide with you around the framework that we adopted. Now, this is a structured continuous improvement framework. This is something I've used for several years and has become the foundation for any program really that I've been involved in. The first step there is around creating that winning mindset. It's about empowering those closest to the problem and how can we develop internal capability. Moving forward, it's looking at eliminate. So how can we eliminate anything that is waste? So reviewing business processes, reviewing the processes end to end, and eliminating any steps that do not add value to either the customer or the business. Then moving on to simplify. How do we make it simple? How do we simplify those business processes post the end-to-end review? Then into optimize. We've simplified, now how do we optimize? And finally, how do we automate? What opportunities are there to automate what has been simplified and optimized? Lean Six Sigma is a structured business problem solving methodology. It's focused on creating value for both internal and external customers and removing those steps that do not add value, and how do we minimize waste? The best example I would say that I've heard to describe the methodology is all we're doing is looking at from the moment the customer places an order to the point when we collect the cash, and we're reducing that timeline by looking at the steps that are non-value added and removing them. It's around simplifying your business processes and removing non-value added steps. The first step was one of the first activities we completed within the business was delivering a one-day practical problem-solving course. We started the day with a business process fraught with problems in the morning and then practically applied business improvement tools throughout the day to improve the process. The session itself covered problem statements, understanding the problem at the start that you're trying to solve, simple process mapping, how can we be creative thinkers, how do we generate improvement ideas, how do we prioritize our projects, how do we look at root cause analysis, how do we use data to drive problem solving, and how do we look at what's adding value and what's not adding value. And there was 3 key outcomes of the session. It was around developing tools and techniques that the team could use every day in their roles, understand the importance of a data-driven approach, but also enable self-improvement and support the wider team with improvement. got a system on site where we're actively recording quality issues. The next stage really was to say, okay, so how do we report on this, and how can we look at the trends in order to improve the process? So we adopting a data-driven decision-making approach to help us drive consistency, help us predict future trends, and also produce actionable insights. We decided on this case to use two systems. The first was Microsoft's Power BI, really interactive visualizations and dashboards. It was simple enough for end users to create their own reports and dashboards. And it really helped connect our organization's data set from raw data into a simple yet effective reporting dashboard. And also Minitab. So Minitab's a statistical software. It helped us predict, visualize, and analyze data to help us solve business problems, and again, ultimately eliminate costs and any mistakes before they happen. So what benefits did we see? So at the point of introducing the new system, repairing scratch beads were costing the business on average around £15,000 a month. And as of May, it's now costing the business on average around £270 a month. We've also had some really great customer feedback. Red have revolutionised quality control for window installations. The development of their on-site electronic quality and safety documentation has enabled a magnificent service delivery. So with handover on site, only one of the strategic projects that came out of the original opportunity assessment, I wanted to share this slide. And this slide demonstrates that quality costs in the organisation year on year, there's been a £300,000 reduction. Now that's because this organisation is continually improving, and there are several improvement initiatives taking place that are having a direct impact on performance.
I think the first and most important thing is to say that we're just a normal company. We're a typical SME that has lots of constraints attached to it, mainly around resource. We're not a big organisation and a full-time quality manager. But I do believe I think we've demonstrated that it is possible even in smaller organisations. And I think there's three parts to how we've made it happen that Andy's touched on. The first one is you've got to have a desire to improve, and it has to be a trigger point for change within your company. Now, we've always been a profitable company. And we'd had a successful period, so we'd seen turnover rise year on year, and we'd had profits rise year on year. When we started to analyse the company in more detail, we saw that there was as our turnover had increased and profits had increased, we'd start to see a reduction in gross profit within the company, which I thought was a really important underlying issue that needed to be addressed. And as a company grows, maybe the influence of those key people in the organisation starts to get diluted. And my view of quality is if you've got quality right, it's what happens when you're not looking within the organisation. So that was our trigger for change, really. I thought we did a good job. We had a great client base, but I did want to address quality. Paper was an issue across sites. The second thing, and Andy really brought this to our company, was root cause analysis and really bringing that expertise around process improvement within the company. Me and Andy actually met on an MBA. We did our MBA at Manchester, and Andy came working retail at the time, and him coming into our industry with a clean pair of eyes was revolutionary. Root cause analysis, and seeing what problems you've got and really defining how those issues have occurred. And the final thing is around data and data-driven decision-making. I mean, that's been an absolute game changer for us, being able to capture data in the right way so that we can analyse it and get to the root cause of issues. It's very debatable in construction about what the cost of quality is in construction. We've been involved in a number of things, the Get It Right initiative, and building on better with Wilmot Dixon, who I think have done quality really well and have got a clear goal. And lots of people, talk around, it could be as high as 20-25% in construction, and I do think that's feasible. It really supported our mission around customer service excellence, and also for any business owner, it clearly has an impact on your profits, and there's just a much better feeling around the company regarding the type of job and how well we do a job. But I do think we've tried to tackle the problem head on, and we're able to monitor it now through data. And I think that's a fundamental issue that needs to be addressed within companies. And I was amazed at actually how much data we had within the organisation and what we were able to do with it.
Brilliant. So, as Mike alluded to, Mike and myself met at university, and the development of Red Jam Business Transformation Specialist. 3 core areas of transformation, focusing on operational improvements, real fundamental requirement that how do we improve our business operationally, organisational development, how do we focus on improving performance of the organisation, the department work and teams, and actually capability development. How do we build capability? How do we develop internal capability in business improvement skills? And how do they play an integral part in ensuring that organisations are fit to compete?
As an SME, I talked before about the constraints of an SME, and one of them is around budgeting. When we took on Andy into our organisation, it was a big investment for us as a company, but we are absolutely reaping the benefits of it now. It was a big leap of faith, but I think we can demonstrate the payback on it. R&D was an added bonus that we didn't know about before Andy joined the organisation. It's a great opportunity. That's exactly what it's there for companies to improve and to develop themselves. And I would advise anybody to look into that, because what it can do is to help fund and overcome that budget constraint, to help you improve as an organisation and benefit our industry as a whole.